So we'll get started with some questions that we'll be asking each of the panelists to respond to. So the first question that we would like to have everybody respond to is, what motivated you to get vaccinated? So we can start off in the same order. So that would be Caroline.
Okay. So to me, it was really important to take the vaccine to begin with. But then right before the vaccine came out, I found that I was pregnant. So at first I was a little skeptical about taking the vaccine. I wasn't sure if it was safe or not. And I did a lot of research and kind of decided that it was more important for me to take the vaccine than not. My research has shown that people that are pregnant tend to get sicker than they normally would if they get COVID. I normally don't see anybody outside of work, so my exposure is close to zero outside of work. But since we work with patients, even though we wear masks and we're safe, there's always a chance, because it just takes that one person to catch it. So I decided that it was important to me to make sure that I was keeping myself and my baby safe. So that's why I decided to take it.
Thank you. Dr. Payne, you want to go next?
Yeah, please. My apologies, but I'm actually at a hospital with a loved one in Chicago, Illinois, which is where I'm from. I forgot to mention, by the way, I'm African American. The reason that I think it's important for us to get people vaccinated is that we have 501,000 people in this country who have died from this infection. When people talk about potential side effects, we're talking about things which potentially could hurt 1 in a million. Allergic reactions. The majority of the side effects are minimal: a sore arm, flu-like sensation that lasts for a day or two. If you get COVID, there is about a 10% to 20% chance you're going to get hospitalized. And there's about a 1 to 2% chance that you're going to die. So in terms of risk-benefit, it's really important to remember that, yes, there's no such thing in this world as a risk-free environment. Everything has a risk. Driving to work has a risk of being in a car accident. Taking a shower in the morning, there's a risk you could fall and break your neck. Getting a vaccination has some small risk associated with it. But the risk of not getting it, and the almost certainty of eventually getting COVID, because the virus is not going away any more than polio or diphtheria or tetanus has gone away. But we don't see a lot of deaths from those because people get vaccinated. I really wanted to make this call. As I said, I'm at Billings Hospital with my cousin who is ill. I'll try to loop in later, but I cannot impress upon you, we do not need any more dead bodies. Perhaps you see these if you're working at CHA, you know how many deaths we've seen. Please don't become one of them.
Thank you. David, would you like to go next?
Yes. In the beginning, I was a little skeptical to take the vaccine because of the wrong information that I was receiving. But what made me pretty much change my mind was I talked to my wife a lot about it, and she helped me to understand. I read about the vaccine, and I realized that the vaccine is pretty good thing that happened. And the other thing that also made me change my mind was my colleague. He lost 3 brothers in the period of, I'll say, 2 to 3 months, and that was a real reality check for me. It became real, became very real and very close to me. And seeing my kids, the people at my church, I thought that they deserved to be safe, and I don't want to be the one carrying a virus that I didn't even know that I had if I was asymptomatic. So I decided to take the vaccine to make people safe, people that I love, people that I'm next to.
Thank you, David. Dr. Agnes?
Yes. So I was eager to get vaccinated. By the time the vaccine rollout came upon us, I was excited. I felt so lucky that I was among the first few to get vaccinated. I had no doubts that I would get vaccinated. And I did it because I wanted to protect myself. I wanted to protect my patients. I wanted to go to work and not be afraid of catching something, getting ill, and even worse, bringing it home to my family. I'm tired of living this way. This really is no way to live. I want to go back to whatever the new normal is after this pandemic is over. I've lost many patients to this pandemic, to this virus. Many that I haven't even come to terms with it. I haven't been able to allow myself to think about it because I have to keep going. You know, I believe in vaccines. As a primary care physician, I'm all about prevention. I'm constantly on my patients to get their flu shots and get booster doses for all their vaccines. And I had to practice what I preach. And for me, that was not a difficult decision at all. I needed to do it, and I'm glad I did. And, you know, growing up in Ghana and for several African countries, generations of people wouldn't be alive and doing well today were it not for vaccines. So I don't need much convincing to get vaccinated. And I just hope that our colleagues watching us today or hearing us will consider getting vaccinated after they hear us.
Thank you, Dr. Graves. And Elisa, would you like to go next?
Yes, I would like to say that I got vaccinated because I strongly believe that, you know, it's a civic duty. And I was doing this not just, you know, for me or my family, but to protect my community. And I'm coming from Brazil, a country with successful history of mass vaccination campaigns. And I know, and we have proof that vaccines do save lives. I lost family in Panama. I lost friends in Brazil. And I know that this vaccine is crucial for us to control this pandemic.